Welcome to Prime USA Channel. I'm Juhi. In just a short time, we will bring you the most important events that directly impact your safety and everyday life. Today's bulletin is especially significant because President Trump has made some major announcements for American citizens. Here is today's first top story. A major decision ahead for Trump 2.0, choosing the next Fed chair. President Donald Trump is facing a crucial decision in the coming months as he prepares to select the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Trump has repeatedly tested the independence of the Fed, an institution the Supreme Court has made clear he cannot control at will, warning that a president cannot simply remove its leadership as he pleases. According to CNN's senior business and economics reporter Matt Egan, this appointment will be closely watched on Wall Street, as the choice of Fed chair could significantly influence market sentiment, investor confidence, and the broader direction of the U.S. economy. Trump has openly expressed regret over his previous choice, Jerome Powell, who was renominated as Fed chair by President Joe Biden. Powell's current term as chairman is set to expire on May 15th, putting added urgency on the upcoming decision. The Federal Reserve plays a central role in the U.S. economy, with its policy-setting committee responsible for raising or lowering key interest rates. These decisions directly affect borrowing, spending, and investment for individuals and businesses across the country. Designed to operate independently, the Fed's governors are nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate, but they serve lengthy 14-year terms to shield them from political pressure. The chairmanship itself is limited to a 4-year term. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal this week, Trump said he is leaning toward nominating either former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh or National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, whom he referred to as the two Kevins. The final decision, expected in the months ahead, could shape the future of U.S. monetary policy and set the tone for Trump's second-term economic agenda. Next video: major attack on U.S. forces in Syria. Several U.S. troops were injured in a deadly ambush attack in Syria on Saturday. A senior U.S. official confirmed the incident to Fox News, stating that some of the injured service members are in serious condition. The attack has raised serious concerns about the safety of American forces deployed in the region. According to Reuters, a joint convoy of U.S. and Syrian forces engaged in operations against the Islamic State, ISIS, was targeted while on patrol in the historic central Syrian city of Palmyra. Security in the area has been tightened immediately following the attack. The U.S. Department of Defense said it is aware of the reports related to the attack, but has not released further details at this time. Meanwhile, security analysts say the United States, the CIA, and military forces remain fully engaged in efforts to secure and stabilize the situation in Syria. Next news. The debate over term limits for U.S. Supreme Court justices has gained momentum after California Democratic Representative Mike Levin announced he will co-sponsor a new bill aimed at changing how long justices can serve on the nation's highest court. According to Powib.com, the proposal has energized many Democrats who argue that the court has become too powerful, overly partisan, and increasingly disconnected from the public. However, even supporters admit the plan faces major legal and political obstacles. The biggest challenge is the U.S. Constitution itself, as Article 3 states that federal judges shall hold their offices during good behavior, a phrase long interpreted to mean lifetime appointments unless a justice resigns, retires, or is removed through impeachment. Because of this, most constitutional experts agree that Congress cannot impose term limits through ordinary legislation, and that any real change would require a constitutional amendment, a difficult and rarely successful process. Next news: President Donald Trump appeared to acknowledge his declining economic approval ratings for the first time during a visit to the Mount Airy Casino Resort in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, where he spoke about the U.S. economy and the rising cost of living on December 9, 2025. Shortly after the appearance, Trump posted an unusually emotional message on social media that surprised political observers. Commentators on the New Republic's Daily Blast podcast said they were stunned, noting that Trump seemed to indirectly recognize real polling data showing a drop in his support, particularly among key voter groups, an unusual move for a leader who typically dismisses or ignores unfavorable numbers. Next, news: economic tensions rise ahead of Federal Reserve decision as America watches interest rates. Closely, economic uncertainty is building across the United States as the Federal Reserve prepares for its upcoming policy meeting, with intense focus on whether interest rates will be adjusted. Rising living costs, stubborn inflation, and slowing economic growth have placed the Fed under pressure from both markets and the public. Interest rate decisions directly affect mortgages, car loans, credit cards, and business investment, making the outcome critical for American households and companies alike. While Wall Street investors are hoping for rate cuts to stimulate growth, several economists warn that inflation risks could force the Fed to maintain a cautious stance. The decision is expected to shape market confidence and consumer sentiment in the months ahead. Next, news: immigration crisis deepens at US-Mexico border, increasing political pressure on Washington. The immigration situation at the US-Mexico border has once again intensified, emerging as a major political flashpoint in Washington. Recent data shows a sharp increase in migrant crossings, renewing criticism of federal border enforcement policies. The Trump administration is facing growing pressure as Republicans push for tougher border security and expanded detention measures, while Democrats emphasize humanitarian protections and asylum reforms. The issue has reignited fierce debate in Congress and is rapidly becoming a defining topic ahead of future elections, with both parties framing border security as a matter of national safety and economic stability. Next, news: US government moves towards stricter AI regulations, raising concerns among tech giants. As artificial intelligence continues to expand its influence across society,